Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's gonna be a little bit of a different video than what I normally do, but this one isn't scripted or speaking from the heart, but a lot of people have been asking me like, why are you no longer friends with P. Diddy? Like, what happened? It's a long story, and a lot of people, they don't have time to like sit for 5 or something, 10 minutes and listen to a story like that. So I'm just like, oh, it's a long story, but I've been saying that a lot, and I kind of want to get it out there with all these new, allegations coming out. I think I'm getting a little sick, my skin's weird, but yeah, so I don't even know where to start this, so I'm just going to go into it from my heart and my brain. All right, so me and P. Diddy first met at a party. It was a party in, where it was like LA, yeah. My friend invited me to a party, and he's like, there's gonna be so many celebrities, like this is a good chance to network and everything. I'm like, all right, like that sounds good, like a free go to a party for, yeah, just a good party network. So I go there, and there's all these people. You got LeBron James was there, Ty Dolla $ign, Nicki Minaj, all these people, KSI, Steph Curry, just all these, like a bunch of mix of people, and everyone was at this party. It was a good time. Nothing was really going on. It was just, it was just chill. And then I feel this like poke, I feel like boom on my chest, and I turn around and I'm like, who did that? Like, what just happened? And I see this guy, and he's like, and he said like, oh, I'm like, okay, wait, no, now I remember. He said like, do I know you? I said like, what do you mean? He's like, I swear I know you from somewhere. I'm like, I don't know, man. He's like, you're the guy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you're the 3 times karate world champion. I'm like, yeah, you know me? Like, from that, he's like, yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you. Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm actually running the party. I go by P. Diddy. You probably heard of me. And I'm like, oh, no, I haven't heard of you, man. But, he's like, no, yeah, it's cool. I'm a huge fan. Then he's like, what brought you here? I'm like, oh, here's my friend. Like, he invited me. I just, like, thought it'd be fun, meet all these new people. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's good. Come over here. Let's party it up. So me and P. Diddy got lit, and it was just a good time. Nothing weird like people say. But I went home, and I fell asleep immediately. It was like 4 in the morning when I got home. It was, oh my gosh, not home, I'm at my hotel, because I don't live in LA. But I was just sleeping, and I woke up, and I had a chill day. And I realized I never got, like, P. Diddy's, like, number or anything, but it's whatever. Like, I don't think he asked or anything. And I threw on Alvin the Chipmunks, because I like that movie. And there was a line in there, I remember specifically. It was like, I feel like P. Diddy with her. And I laughed. Like, I thought that was funny. Like, oh, I just met the guy. I guess he is pretty famous. If he's on, oh my god, sorry. If he's on, like, Alvin the Chipmunks. So, I laughed, and I kept going about my day. And I remember just going on my phone. I see all these things, like, P. Diddy related. Like, when you hear something, like, you never heard of before, and then suddenly you see it everywhere? It was like that. Anyway, my day kept going. It was turning into night. And, I get a call on my phone. It's, like, no caller ID. Like, it was weird. So I answer, and I'm like, hello? And I hear P. Diddy on the other side. It's like, yo, man, what's going on? I'm like, oh, hey, how'd you get my number? And he's like, oh, like, we exchanged it yesterday. I'm like, oh, I don't remember that. It's like, oh, yeah, we were pretty lit. I was like, oh, yeah, but the thing is, I didn't actually get lit. So I would remember that. So that was the first weird sign. He had my number, and I never gave it to him. Like, he must have looked for it, but that happens a lot. Like, when you have so many fans like me. But, yeah, and then he invited me, and he's like, yo, I'm having another party tonight. You want to come? There's going to be, like, different people, different celebrities. Dan TM's going to be there. I'm trying to remember who else he said. Kyrie Irving. What's the football guy? the Eli Manning. Just all these people are going to be there. King Bach. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll go. And I went, and it was fun, but this time things were a little weird. The floor was really slippery, like really slippery. And it was kind of like, it was like fun, but it was just weird. Like the house was shiny, like really, really shiny. And I met up with him again. We were talking, and he's like, yo, I'm having another party tomorrow. Want to come? I'm like, all right. So I went, and when I went there, he's like, yo, I'm having another party. And I'm like, all right, dude, what is up with all these parties? Like, do you just throw a party all the time? It's like, yeah, I love them. I love holding my Diddy parties. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm just not, like, I'm a party dude, but I can't for, like, you know, 4 days in a row. He's like, oh, it's all right, it's all right. You don't, like, just chill. I'm having one the day after that. I'm like, all right, I'll go that one. So the next day I rested up. But when I went to the party, I forgot what day it was. This time it was weird. Like, this one was weird. There were not as many people. I wouldn't even consider it a party. There was no music. And it was in some, like, you go in the house, right? There's this weird little crevice I walked through, and you would go down the stairs. It was like this underground, like, cavern area. And there's weird things hanging from the ceiling. And I see P. Diddy down there, and he comes up, and he's like, yo, man, what's up? And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, oh, this is like the room. I'm like, this is the room. He's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know what he meant. But he, like, out of nowhere, like, all these girls come down the stairs. Like, all these girls. There's so many girls, and they're all, like, laughing and everything. And I got scared, because I don't like being around so many girls. It's, like, a personal thing. But, like, if there's more than, like, 3 girls in a like, I just had to leave. So I said, yo, I gotta go. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I just gotta go. I gotta go. So I ran up the stairs. I pushed everyone out of the way. And that was scary. That was really scary. I got out of the house, and there was a cop car outside. And so he saw me running out, and he was like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I was still terrified. Like, I didn't know if they were chasing me, so I shoved him. I ran to my car, and I just drove away. And the next day, P. Diddy called me, and he was all mad. He's like, yo, what happened yesterday? Like, you got me in trouble. Like, they had reasons to investigate my house. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Like, you know the room. They had a reason to investigate. They went down and found all this stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what is the room? I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And he was like, it's my Diddy room. Like, you know, I'm P. Diddy. It's my Diddy room. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, you don't know? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh. And then he hung up. And that was the last time I ever talked to him, when I escaped the Diddy room. Yeah, so that's the story. Yeah, so anyway, that's really it. See you guys in the next one.